Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. My name is Mara, and we're going to jump in a little bit. We're going to give everyone a couple minutes to join us. All right, so as we're starting out, let me know any questions that you have. If you throw them in the comments, I'm going to go ahead and get them updated, answered as we go through this. So if you have any questions, let me know, but we'll just give everybody a couple minutes to log on. As soon as you're logging on, go ahead and let me know that you're here. Tell me your name, where you're watching from, just so I can say hi. So if you're here, go ahead and throw it in the comments. Let me know your name and where you're watching from. All right, hello, hello. Ooh, Colorado. Hey, Kate, how you doing? Okay, so Colorado weather right now, what is that looking like? Because right here in Louisiana, it is currently very hot and very muggy. Awesome. Hot and dry. Okay, well, I might trade you. I'll take hot and dry over hot and muggy. Which part of Colorado are you from? Mountains? Do you get to see all those beautiful landscapes? If you're just joining, let me know your name, where you're from, like where you're watching from. And then if you have any questions before we start, go ahead and throw them in the comments as well. East of the mountains. Okay. Hey, Brittany, how you doing? We're going to give everybody just a couple more minutes to jump on here. And while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and throw this up here as well. All right, so when you get here, go ahead and let me know where you're watching from. Brittany just said she's watching from right across the street. That's awesome. We know you love your coffee, Brittany. So let me know where you're watching from, and then if you have any questions, throw those in the comments as well. We're going to get started here in about 8 seconds. All right, here we go. So as we're going through today, I'm going to be asking questions. We're going to be walking through specific things that you can do for your company. So if you're able to, go ahead, take notes, make this relevant to your company. So yes, this information that I have is for anyone who is listening, but we want to make sure you come away with something that is manageable for you. So any questions you have, let me know so that we can help out. Hey, Karen, watching from Alexandria. Awesome. Okay, so this is what we're going through today. And I know it looks like a lot, but I talk fast. No, we will go through this quickly, but in a way that makes sure we hit every topic. So there is a lot of information on here, but we will go through it in a manageable time. Okay, so this is me. Kate and I were just talking about Colorado a little bit ago. I actually got the opportunity to head out to Arizona about a little less than a month ago, and I love everything that has to do with hiking, beautiful scenery, anything that has to do with nature. I'm all about that. So this past May, I was able to go to the Grand Canyon and 4 or 5 other national parks in that area, and I just had an absolute blast. So if y'all have any ideas on great places for me to go hiking, let me know, because I'm all about a new challenge, seeing new things, and just experiencing life. So go ahead, throw those in the comments if you have them. But that's a little bit about me. Hey, Sydney, thanks for joining us. Okay, so this is the first question I have for you today. And I know this could sound weird coming from a marketing company, but everyone has a dream car. I don't care if you're a guy or a girl, you have a dream car. It could be a reasonable dream car, like something that'll fit your entire family, or it could be something that's just way off the wall that you just love. So I'm going to start. My dream car is a Porsche 911 Speedster, preferably light blue to like a matte blue. I don't know when this started. It's definitely been since before I was in college, probably the last couple years of high school. I just saw this car and fell in love with it. It's actually not on the screen here, but those are also some cool cars. So mine is a Porsche 911 Speedster. Go ahead, let me know what your dream car is. Ooh. Courtney says a black GMC Yukon, lots and lots of room. Hey, that's really important too. And they're sleek looking. They look nice. So you don't just have a lot of room, but they also look nice. An Audi Q5. I'm going to have to look that one up. I don't know that one, Kate. That's cool. Yes, Courtney, the kids definitely require a lot of room. You can't really strap them down to a Porsche or something. That's awesome. Okay, so as we're going through this, if you think of your favorite car or you just want to throw it in here, go ahead. We're going to keep rolling because I want to share some things with you. Hey, Brittany, you might want to check out that black GMC Yukon from Courtney. Might fit all the kids. Okay, so today I want this to be very interactive. So let me know your thoughts, any questions that you have, and I'm going to let you know when you have an opportunity to win. So we said a couple things in the post that y'all read. And the very first thing that y'all can get today is $275. It's a SEO audit for your company. And the crazy thing is most people charge that $275 to get this information. So today we want to give that to y'all for free because it is extremely helpful information, and this will jumpstart what you and your company need to know about your website and about your online presence. So that's the very first thing. Just by attending today, I'm going to give you a link. And when you get that link and you fill it out, that's where you get this. It's multiple pages. It's anywhere from 8 to 12 pages, depending on your website. So it's extremely detailed and will be extremely beneficial for you. I am going to throw that link in here now, just so you can get a head start on filling that out. And if you have any questions while we're going through this, let me know that as well. So throwing that in the comments, and then I'll go ahead and throw it up here as well so you can see it. So one thing that we're doing with this link, I know Brittany was telling me how she was watching from Tamper and Grind Coffee, which is literally catty corner from where I'm standing right now. But what we want to do is we want to offer anyone who fills out this link the opportunity to win a $25 gift card to your favorite coffee shop. So I know, Kate, you're in Colorado. We have a couple in Prospect, Louisiana, a couple in Alexandria. So we're all over the place, and that is okay. Y'all all have your favorite coffee places no matter where you are. So as soon as you fill that link out, at the very end here, we're going to be giving away that $25 gift card to anyone who fills out the link. All right, you ready to get started? Here we go. All right, so this question right here is what I start pretty much all conversations around SEO with. Is your website a waste of money and time? And I know that's touchy, right? Some websites are extremely expensive, and others you have built yourself. So that's taken tons and tons of time, right? So how am I able to come in and just say, hey, What's up with your website? Is it wasting your time? Is it wasting your money? That might come off a little bit strange, right? But it's extremely important. We have had so many clients or even prospects come to us and say, hey, my website, I spent this amount of money on it and it has given me $0 in return. Or some people say that. Some people are like, well, I'm not sure how much it's gotten me, right? So if you're in either one of those camps, you need to pay attention because today is for you. So that website that you had, that you spent so much money on or so much time on building, it needs to be used and it can be used. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So we're just going to keep jumping right in here. 68% of online experiences begin with a search engine. That means 32%, I can do math, 32% of internet experiences they know where they're going ahead of time. So you have the majority, 68% of people that you could capture to come to your website. Sydney says, you don't have a URL yet, building a website, learning tips and tricks. Look, pay attention because we're going to have some tips and tricks here for you. And that's extremely important to know ahead of time. So great job. I'm super excited that you're here. That's really cool. Okay, so we have the opportunity to interact with the majority of people who are going to search engines. How do you capture them? What does that look like for you, for your company? And what's the process behind all of that, right? Those are the questions we want to go through, and we'll hit each one of those in different pieces throughout this. Let's start with 4 lies that you've been told about your website. So Sydney, you were just saying you want to learn the tips and tricks. Here are 4 lies that you need to know are not true. There's this famous, I don't know who said this. If you know, please let me know. But somebody said that just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true. And ironically, for this circumstance, that statement is absolutely true. Just because someone puts something on the internet or tells you something on the internet, it does not mean it is true. So let's go through the 4 things really quick here. The first one, only online businesses need a website. So everybody remember 2-3 years ago when the entire world shut down, right? If you had a company that wasn't an online business, you had a brick and mortar store that people could walk into, for the most part, you were shut down. And I know that's an extreme circumstance, and we had never seen anything like that in our lifetime before, but that's just an example, right? Just because you have a store doesn't mean all of your clients or all of your potential clients are going to walk through the doors just because it's there. You got to have an online presence that tells people, number 1, that you're out there, number 2, where to find you or how to purchase things. So just because you have that brick and mortar store does not mean you don't need a website. So if you're in the process of building a website like Sydney, that's awesome. Keep it up. You need that online presence. If you have a website, keep paying attention. If your website looks good, you'll start making sales. That's lie number 2. If your website looks good, you'll start making sales. Not true. Just because it looks good does not mean it's going to do anything for you. So ironically enough, that's actually where our name came from. So we're Ugly Mug Marketing. And there was this marketeer, I think that's the correct word for it, a long time ago who said, his name is David Ogilvy, and he said, just because something is pretty does not mean it's effective. I'm paraphrasing there. But that's how we got our name, because we want our results to speak for us instead of, hey, they make pretty websites, or hey, they make pretty ads, pretty billboards, right? So just because something's nice looking does not mean it's effective. So it needs to be both. That was lie number 2. Lie number 3, once your website is up, the work is done. And Sydney, I think this is the one that'll reach to you the most right here. Prepare now to continually work on your website. So the lie is once your website is up and launched, you don't have to do anything. That's not true. Just like you would change out something in your store, you would change a display when people walk in. You got to keep your website fresh. You've got to keep the information relevant. Any sales or information that you have has to be updated. And one quick example of this is if I go to your website and I see a date that says July of 2020, I'm automatically, subconsciously gonna think, they don't spend time on their website. They don't know what's up. They haven't changed the date. So I lose trust in you immediately. So you can't let that happen. You gotta keep working on your website. All right. And then the last lie, once your website is launched or online, you'll automatically attract visitors. So this one we hear often as well. Like, well, I put my website up, it's live. Great. How many companies, I'm going to use Colorado again, Kate. How many companies are in Colorado that I know nothing about because I cannot see them? Or I don't even know what their names are to be able to Google them, right? So just because you have a website that's online does not mean it's going to do anything or get you any visitors or sales. You have to do something to get people to come to your website. Okay, I know that was aggressive. Very first, off the bat, I'm telling you 4 lies that people tell you about websites. Let's break that down just a little bit more, all right? So just because you have a website does not mean it's going to bring you qualified buyers. And if we're being honest here, what's the point of any website? The point of any website is, well, it could be to get your information out there, to be found, all of that stuff. But it's also to bring you sales, to get income coming into your company. So just because you have a website out there does not mean it's going to bring you qualified buyers. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit more today. So your website is a tool and it's got to be used. I'm standing, you can't see it right now, but I'm standing in front of this awesome pink couch. And at the bottom of this pink couch are legs. They're probably about 5 inches tall. These legs are holding up the couch, right? Now, let's just say I had a hammer and instead of one of the legs, I put the hammer under there, right? The couch is still being held up. So the couch is still being effective, right? But what about that hammer? The hammer is a tool. And that tool is supposed to hammer things in or take things out, right? So that tool being used for something different is not being used effectively. And that's what your website is if it's not bringing you clients, if it's not an effective use of your company's money. So keep that in mind as we're going through this. Your website needs to work for you. Let's break it down. So we've talked a little bit about SEO towards the beginning. I mentioned an SEO audit. That link is up higher in the comments if you want to find it. That is the culmination of kind of everything that we're doing today. So we'll come back to the audit, but let's break down what SEO is, what it means. Because there are so many definitions out there from people. Or you may hear something like, oh yeah, I'm doing SEO work on my website. I'm like, cool, what's that? Let's break it down. SEO is the process of positioning your website to rank highly in search results. So SEO literally stands for search engine optimization. It's the process of building a foundation for your website so that you can be found faster in searches. Okay. Now, just because I told you what it is, doesn't mean that you're like, great, so that's what it is. So what, right? Why is SEO important for you? So I brought up a little bit ago that Kate lives in Colorado, and I might not know companies or businesses in Colorado, right? The cool thing is I can go to Google right now and I can say places to stay in Colorado. When I type in places to stay in Colorado, I'm going to get a list of people whose websites have that as their keyword or who are ranked connected to that keyword. So just because I'm in Louisiana and Kate's in Colorado does not mean that I can't find companies in Colorado. So just because you're in one location does not mean others around the United States or around the world can't find you. You just have to build yourself a foundation to be found. And that's what SEO is. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. If you know the answers to them, throw them in the comments. Let me know what those are. And we'll just break them down. So question number 1, what makes you different from your competitors? This could be a tough one, but it's very important. And Sydney, you were saying how you were building a website. These are 3 really important questions to walk through as you're building a website so that you know how to change things or how to make the design or how to word the text that's on your website. So question 1, what makes you different from your competitors? If you have an answer, go ahead and throw it in the comments. One thing that makes us different from our competitors here at Ugly Mug Marketing is our striving to not just get results, but to do it in a remarkable way. So we are continually striving to be different, to exceed expectations in everything that we do. Those results have to be shown, have to be there, but all of that tied together is something that we take pride in making ourselves a remarkable company. So Laura says a faith-based school. Yeah, that's something that makes you different, that makes you stand out from your competitors. Perfect. All right, question number 2. What are your potential clients looking for? So if we want to use Laura as an example, those who are, I'm not sure what age range, Laura, but let's just say it's middle school. So I could be a middle school parent or a parent of a middle schooler and looking for a place that I would consider safe for my kids to go and go and learn. So that could be high school. Okay. So same thing. High school parent looking for a place where I can send my kids. I know their teachers. I know what they're learning. So all of that could be something that I'm looking for as I'm searching for you, right? And then that third question ties right into that. So how are you being found? So if I'm that potential high school parent, how am I finding you? Do you have ads? Do you have billboards? What is the main way that people are finding you? Yep, safe environment, community, values. Those are all extremely important for anyone who's looking for you. And knowing that ahead of time is perfect. Okay, you're a nonprofit looking for Catholic foreign ministry opportunities. Yeah, so that's super specific, if I can talk. So how are you reaching those who need you? How are they finding you? Yep, Laura says billboards, social media, word of mouth. Yes, yes, yes. Those are all super common, right? But what if I'm a parent and I'm not in the area yet, but I'm moving to the area? How would I find you? So these are all the questions that we need to start thinking about with your company. Doesn't matter which genre of company you're in, it'll all be effective for you, but you need to answer these questions. So you need to talk through, okay, what makes me different? What are my potential clients looking for? And then how am I being found? So what am I doing to help others find me? So these 3 questions are extremely important, specifically with SEO, but for your whole company in general. So it doesn't just have to do with SEO. It has to do with the entirety of your company. Okay, so I did mention something earlier. I don't know if you caught it, but I said something about paid ads. We have a lot of confusion when people come to us about SEO versus paid ads. You may have heard it called PPC before, pay per click, right? So let's talk through that. Paid ads versus organic. What do they mean? What should you use? How are they separated? Oh, wow, cool. I was just reading, sorry, got distracted by the comments. I was just reading Sydney's comments. Bath products produced directly from our farm raised ingredients. That's awesome. So yeah, everything that was mentioned here by Kate and Brittany and Laura and Sydney, those are all specific where people would be searching for very specific keywords related to that. So keep that in mind as we're going through here. And on that link that I added for the SEO audit that I'll go ahead and throw in here again soon, that will tell you what you're currently being ranked for. And it'll give you some tips and tricks on improving it or things that you need to adjust in order to improve those. So keep that in mind. But let's walk through paid ads versus organic. Let's start with paid ads since we did talk about organic previously. So paid ads, PPC, pay per click. Type of internet marketing that involves advertisers paying a fee each time one of their ads is clicked. So here's a picture up here. If you're anything like me, pictures are much better than words. So you'll see right up here, whenever you do a Google search, you'll see images that pop up or anything that says ad next to it. Right there, right there. All of those are PPC or paid ads. So this is, let's see, Boxed, Nuts.com, Sugar Wish. They are all paying for their images and their links to show up when somebody searches for shop Christmas candy. Now, they are paying every single time someone clicks on those links. So that's a paid ad. You pay money each time someone clicks to get put on that first visible spot. And then we're going to compare that to the organic side. So SEO refers to techniques that are aimed to propel a website to the first page of majority search engines, so Google, all of those, without paying per click. So this is more of the foundation building, I'm going to use the words behind the scenes to push a website to that first page. And we'll walk through, I have some frequently asked questions that we're going to go through here in a little bit that are going to dig deeper into the differences between the two and what to look for. But overall, that's the difference between one of them, you're paying and it's a quick, visible, hey, your ad's right there. The other one, you're paying to build up a foundation so that you organically show up on the first or second page without having to pay per click. So that's the big difference. I know sometimes that can be confusing, or maybe I muddled up how I was explaining it. So if you're confused at all, or if you have any questions, throw them in the comments, let me know so that we can help clarify that. But I want to break it down for you just a little bit more. And I'm not going to use a real company because we can't use people's names, but I'm going to give you an example. So Johnny's Pool Service got a brand new website. It's like one of those ones that you look at it, it pops up immediately and you're wowed. You're like, oh my goodness, that's a cool looking website, right? That's what Johnny's Pool Service had. Brand new website. They love it. Their families love it. Their clientele who come into their store absolutely love it. But the problem is their phone wasn't ringing. They weren't getting more sales besides what they had usually gotten. So they just spent a whole ton of money. They didn't really spend a whole lot of time because they had somebody else build it for them, but they did have time investment into this website. But they spent tons and tons of money on it, right? It was a custom built site just for them. And they're not getting any results, or they don't know if they are. So what did they do? They started with data. And that's one of the things that I'm going to walk through today with that audit is where you can start. So you need that information to know where you are. How are you going to grow or exceed what you're doing if you don't even know what those numbers are or where you are ranked, right? So there is a starting point that includes specific data that you need to know. And that's where they started. And then with that information, they then determined, okay, my website is going to do this for my company. With that information, then they had to make a decision. So they wanted to get 15 calls from the website each month, and they wanted to have one new client from those 15 calls. Okay, what was the best way for them to get those 15 new, I was going to say 15 new clients, 15 calls and that one new client from their website? How's that going to happen? So they compared PPC versus SEO, the organic. And they were like, okay, so we want to get seen visibly right away. That's what PPC is for. So they went ahead and did 6 months of PPC ads to get rolling so that they could see results immediately. But they didn't just want their website to show up only when they were paying for the ads. Because as soon as they stopped paying for PPC ads, their website went away. It wasn't there anymore, right? So while they were doing those PPC ads, like 2 or 3 months in, then they started the organic SEO in the background. So that's when they started building up their website connected to specific keywords with backlinks, blog posts, all of that, so that they could build the path towards that first page while they were doing the PPC ads. So that was Johnny's pool service solution. That's what they came up with. But this is what I want you to do. I want you to walk through these 3 steps with your company. So determine what that data, where you're starting. And if you don't have that information, that's where that audit's going to be extremely helpful, because it's going to tell you where you are currently. From that, you'll be able to go and say, okay, this is what I want my website to do for my company. And then from there is when you make that decision. So this isn't an easy process. It's not a quick process either, but it has to be done in order to use the tool that you have built for your company in the most effective way possible. So I could go on and on about that, but I won't, because I told you I wouldn't talk very long. One thing I did mention, though, about Ugly Mug and what we consider to be extremely important is results. So I want to show you, kind of walk through some of those results with you. I'm not going to give you specific numbers, but I want to tell you what to look for. So one thing, are you showing up on the first page? When you search, let's see if I can use one of the examples over here. Okay, so Kate, if I searched Catholic Foreign Mission opportunity in Colorado, would your website show up? You don't have to answer it if you don't want to, but that is what I'm talking about. Do you know specifically where you're ranking for specific keywords? If you don't, you need to find out, because that's going to propel your company in the right direction. That's either choosing success or failure for that website for your company. So measuring the impact of what you're doing is critical to your success. But if it's not successful or not working in the right direction, you can change things around and get something to work. So I have a client right now, again, can't give names, sorry, but his website right now, we started SEO work with them probably about 5 months ago. And usually with organic SEO, we don't guarantee anything because Google changes everything all the time. But the results that we're striving for, we like to see within 6 months. Knowing me, I don't know if you could probably get some of that from this interaction that we've had, but I love to see people succeed. So when we weren't getting results for him within 3 months, the numbers weren't changing within 3 months, I was like, nah, something's not right. So we went back into his website, changed some more things around, and guess what? Next month, he jumped up rankings. So just because something isn't working when you first start it, doesn't mean it's not going to work. Just means you have to pivot or change. And you can't actually do that if you're not tracking or you're not seeing where your company is currently. So that's extremely important. And that's what you're going to get through the SEO audit. I'm going to go ahead and throw the link in here again. This SEO audit is extremely important for your company's growth and digital presence. Now, like I mentioned earlier, everyone who puts their information into this link, I think it's your name and your email, super easy. It takes like 30 seconds, but then you get every single thing on this list. So you're told what your score is. It's a 0 to 100 score. You get told what your keyword rankings are, what your performance results look like. And then not only does it do that, but it tells you, okay, hey, this is what you should do. This is what you should change to get better rankings or better performance results. So you get tons of information. It's multiple pages, like 8 to 10 pages. And typically people don't give this away for free. So don't tell anybody. But we want to see y'all succeed. So everyone who fills out this quick form here will be entered in to win $25 to your favorite coffee shop. Now, the tricky part is I'm going to be drawing those names here as soon as we're done talking about the frequently asked questions. So you've got maybe 5 to 6 minutes to fill out this form. Again, it only takes about 30 seconds, but I just wanted to give you a heads up. We're going to be drawing those names here shortly. Okay, so frequently asked questions. These, we're going to go through each one of them specifically. And if you have any questions off of those or any different questions, throw them in the chat. Let me know. Like I said at the beginning, we want to see y'all succeed. This isn't about like me or honestly, I can't, I can't. Oh, Sydney, I'm sorry. You don't have a URL. Go ahead. Sydney, I'll write your name down anyway. You're very involved in this interactions. So I'll go ahead and throw your name in the mix anyway. But let me know if you have any questions. So as we go through these questions, if you have questions that either relate to them or anything that I've said in the past, put them in the comments so that we can go ahead and answer them or talk about getting them answered after this little webinar. All of these are extremely important, but let's go ahead and start with the top. I believe it's your left-hand side. Does load speed affect my website's SEO? So does it affect my score and rankings and all of that? And I'm going to say yes. So one of the most recent Google algorithm changes was specifically related to good user experiences. So if I come to your website and it's extremely slow, I'm going to leave, right? Or I'm going to go find somewhere else that answers my questions quickly. So yes, the answer to that question is yes, it does affect your website's SEO. Slow sites turn visitors away, and faster sites provide good user experience. So that's what Google's looking for. And they'll rank them higher than those slower ones. So you got to make sure that all of the user experience side of your website is performing well. And that audit in the link that's attached to the screen here, it's also in the comments. You can click on it there. that audit's going to tell you that information. It's going to tell you where you're ranking. So go ahead and fill that out to see. Okay. Doesn't Google change its algorithm all the time? That's the pink one in the middle. So most experts estimate that Google changes 500 to 600 times each year. The crazy part is that's about 1 to twice a day, depending on, there's 365 days in a year, but depending on the 500 to 600 side, it could either be 1 a day to 2 a day. Now, most of those changes are not like massive, significant changes. And for the ones that are bigger, Google usually sends out some sort of, hey, this is what we're looking for. Or with this last one, they were focused on the user experience side of things. So that's when you start thinking through, I'm like, okay, what would make this a better user experience for those people who are coming to my website? So yes, they change it. And that's why I said earlier, we do not guarantee anything with being found higher, being ranked higher, because Google changes things all the time. But being able to change and adjust and prepare for those is extremely important. And that's what we help y'all with. Okay. So question number 3, what is on-page SEO and what is off-page SEO? So you may have not heard of these specific terms, but you have definitely heard of some of the terms that go with each of them. So on-page SEO, that's the stuff within your website that directly affects how people find you or how fast you're ranked or how high you're ranked, all of that. Some of those, content. Content is king. So how you say the text on your website directly affects how fast you're found or where you're ranked in search results. So content is one of them. Keywords, I mentioned that a couple times here. Title tags, meta description, all of those are within your website that help with the SEO rankings of your website. And SSL. So that's the little secure lock thing in the top corner, left-hand corner of your website. That also helps your website. So Google ranks websites higher when they have that. And when they don't have a secure website, it oftentimes puts a warning sign up. So whenever that warning sign comes up, you're risking how high or how fast you're going to be found. Mobile friendly, can you pull up your phone and see the information on your website easily, or do you have to like zoom in and find all kinds of different changes and stuff like that to be able to actually view the website? So is it mobile friendly or is it not? Those determine that on-site or that on-page SEO that helps rank or lose ranking for your website. And then off-page SEO. So this has to do more with what is not necessarily in your website, but backlinks or articles or things that point to your website or point away from your website that also help build credibility and giving Google all of the trust that it needs to have in your website so that it'll get ranked higher. So that's backlinks, domain authority, social promotion, local SEO. All of those are the off-page SEO factors that directly affect how you're ranked. And again, there is so much that goes into all of this. So if you want to talk about it more, let me know. You can message us on Facebook. I'll also throw my email up here at the end, and go ahead and shoot me an email. Let's talk about it more in detail and how it relates to your company. Okay, pink question on the right-hand side. Can't we just buy backlinks? So technically, you could buy backlinks, but the whole point of what I just said was being credible, right? finding or getting Google to find you as a credible source, as a website that says what you are is actually who you are. So when you buy backlinks, you get flagged as not trustworthy or don't go there. All of those will affect how you're ranked. There's an example that Dan gave in one of the past conversations. So if someone walks, like you're at a barbecue and someone walks up, and let's just say Brittany's over here and Brittany says, "Hey Tom, how you doing?" I'm automatically going to feel more comfortable with Tom because I know Brittany and Brittany knows Tom. That's what Google is doing with your website. They're saying, is this person who they say they are, and who else says that they are who they say they are? So what links or what articles or who's pointing to your website to actually prove who you say you are is real. So yes, technically you can buy backlinks, but technically you can also steal. Doesn't mean it's right or good or that there are no consequences. Brittany said, Tom's a great guy. Excellent. We're on the same page. Okay. Question number 5. Can you guarantee my rankings with search engine optimization? If you have a company that is telling you that they can guarantee that you'll be ranked on the first page, they probably are not telling you the truth. You want to find a company to help you with your SEO that's going to tell you the truth, that's going to keep you in the loop, give you all the information, even when it's not the best information, right? And if they're telling you that they can guarantee rankings, don't believe them. One of that first questions was, doesn't Google change their algorithm all the time? Yes, they do. They change it all the time, which means you're constantly having to change and update things on the SEO side of things so that you can continue being ranked higher or to continue that position that you currently have. Okay, last one. Can you get me ranked for general terms like lawyer? So this came up in one of my recent clients. We had very, very general terms that the client wanted to be ranked for. The example here is lawyer. Now, www stands for World Wide Web. If I am in Louisiana and I search the term lawyer, I am not only going to get information for Louisiana lawyers, I'm also going to get information for California lawyers and New York lawyers. Whoever is paying the most amount of money is going to show up on my page first, right? So when you have general terms like that, like lawyer or insurance, that is not going to get you specific results. So technically, you can rank for terms like lawyer, but being more specific in what you're looking for or what your clients are looking for is going to get you the more, those people who are more interested in you. So Kate, you said earlier, Catholic foreign missions opportunities, right? Catholic foreign missions, and I forget what city in Colorado, but you could say whatever city, Colorado. That means when I'm looking for something that has to do with Catholic foreign missions, you're more likely to show up because you have that as your keyword. So the more specific you can get, the more relevant the results are going to be for your company. Okay. So I think I've given everyone enough time to go ahead and fill out that new, oh, Kate, you're based in Louisiana. That's awesome. So cool. Okay. I think I've given you enough time to fill out the form, but if you haven't, it's uglymugseo.com. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to that form right now, and I'm going to get everyone's name who has filled it out. And we're going to put y'all into a little picker wheel so that we can choose who gets to win the coffee gift card. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and throw your name and email into that form. So that's uglymug.seo.com. Not only are you going to get extremely valuable information for your company and what that looks like for you, but you're also going to get the opportunity to win $25. All right, so I'm going to give y'all just a little bit longer of an opportunity. All right. And then Sydney, I'm adding you in here as well. When I see you have a question too. Recommendations for good and efficient website hosts. So this is important, extremely important for you. So you want somebody who's going to be trustworthy and somebody who answers you when you have tech support questions. One that we use for our own personal website is Media Temple. They're really, really good. Their support is excellent. They are a little more on the expensive side. You can definitely find cheaper options. If you are looking for a less expensive option, GoDaddy is one that also has good tech support. And we have to talk to their tech support. So GoDaddy answers me and Media Temple answers me. Those would be the two that I would suggest, just because I've had experiences with both of their tech supports. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with y'all so that you can see the picker wheel as we're doing it. All right. Here we go. Hey! So Kate, you won that gift card to your favorite coffee shop. So if it's in Colorado or if you're going to be visiting Louisiana, just let me know which one you want to go to. You can either put it in these comments here or you can email me. So I'm going to go ahead and add this back in here so that you can see my email. Again, if y'all have any questions on what this looks like for you, how your company can benefit, please let me know. Please email me. My email is my name at uglymugmarketing.com. And everyone who filled out the form will also be getting Wayne Mullen's book. So you have a website, Now What? And this will walk through some detailed things that you can do for your company after you've launched your website. So this goes out to everyone who filled out that form. And you also get the opportunity to win, or not really win, but the opportunity for over $1,000 worth of SEO services, basically. You'll get the opportunity for a personal deep dive into your SEO report. So that audit that you just filled out, you'll get 30 minutes of Dan. He's not on this call with me today, but he is our business development manager. He'll walk through that report, specifically how it relates to your company with you. So you'll get that. You'll get this book. You'll also get the opportunity for $550 credit towards one of the SEO products that we have here, if that's something that you're interested in. So everyone who filled out that form, I will be emailing you later today with that information. But if y'all have any friends or anyone else who you think would like to see this audit of their website, copy this URL and send it to them, because I had this URL. So we just don't want to give it to everyone, but I want your friends to be able to have it too. So go ahead, send them this URL and let them know, fill it out today, and they'll be able to get all the same things that I just offered y'all. Okay, that is all I have for today. It has been amazing to be interacting with y'all today. Thank you for being so responsive and interactive. Sydney, I caught your email here, so I'll go ahead and make sure I send that over to you as well. All right. Any other questions that you have, feel free to throw them in the comments. If you need anything from us, you know how to reach out to us. And like I said, share that link with your friends or coworkers or anyone else who you know has a website out there that needs this information. All right, that's all I have. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your Thursday, and we'll catch y'all sometime soon. Bye.